All right, let's talk about something that happens in every single warehouse, but is often the secret source of some major headaches. Put away. It sounds so simple, right? Just put the stuff on the shelf. But here's the thing. If you get this wrong, you can literally bring your entire operation to its knees. So we're going to break down how this one step can either be your greatest strength or your biggest weakness.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We've all been there. You're searching for an item, your system swears up and down that it's in stock, but poof, it's vanished. That kind of chaos, it almost always starts with one tiny mistake, a single box put in the wrong place.
And that one little mistake, it just snowballs. All of a sudden, you've got wasted time, your team is pulling their hair out, and worse, the wrong orders are heading out the door. The stakes are way higher than you think, and it all traces back to that very first move.
And that's exactly why we're calling this the Putaway domino effect, because it is literally the first domino in your entire warehouse process. You knock it over in the wrong direction, and trust me, everything else is coming crashing down right behind it.
So let's just walk through the flow here. Stuff comes in at receiving, right? And then, boom, it hits put away. That step right there, step 2, that's the pivot point. You get something wrong here, and the air just ripples all the way down the line, through picking, packing, and, yep, right out the door with shipping. The crazy part, your customer ends up feeling the pain from a mistake that happened days ago. And believe me, the consequences are huge. We're not just talking about a messy shelf here. We're talking about constant stock errors, your team wasting hours, maybe even days, looking for stuff the system swears is there. Pretty soon, your inventory data is basically a fantasy novel, which makes picking, packing, and shipping a total nightmare. But here's the good news. This isn't just random chaos. There are real, specific reasons this happens. And once you can spot the root of the problem, you can stop playing whack-a-mole and actually start preventing these fires from starting in the first place. And usually it comes down to these 5 usual suspects. First, you've got no standard rules, so it's a free-for-all. People just shove things wherever they fit. Then you've got labels that are either wrong or just not there. Throw in a lack of real-time scanning, so your system's always a day late and $1 short. Top it all off with mixed-up products in one bin and absolutely zero accountability, and yeah, you've got a perfect storm for disaster. Okay, so how do we actually fix this mess? We're going to tackle this in 2 waves. First up, the immediate fixes. Think of this as warehouse first aid. We got to stop the bleeding right now. Then we'll get into the sustainable improvements, the long-term plays that make your system bulletproof. So let's jump right into that first aid. These are the quick wins, the simple, powerful things you can literally go do this afternoon to start clawing back some sanity on the warehouse floor. Here's the 5-step game plan. Number 1, create standard rules. No more guessing games. Number 2, label everything, and I mean everything. 3, stop mixing different products in the same bin. Just stop. 4, get those scanners out and confirm every single item and every location. And finally, number 5, this is the golden rule. If it moves, the system knows about it. Instantly. No exceptions. All right, so you've applied the first aid, the bleeding is stopped. Now it's time to think bigger. Let's talk about how to move from just putting out fires every day to actually future-proofing your whole operation. And a huge piece of this puzzle is something called a WMS, or a warehouse management system. If you're not familiar, just think of it as the brain of your warehouse. It's the software that runs the whole show, directing traffic and tracking everything. It basically takes the human guesswork and a lot of the human error right out of the picture.
So the WMS is your foundation. It's what allows for things like system-directed put-away, which is a fancy way of saying the computer tells you the absolute best place to put every single item. From there, it's all about building good habits. You do regular audits, you cross-train your team so you don't have that tribal knowledge problem where only one person knows where everything is, and you build a culture where you're always looking at mistakes to see how you can improve.
Okay, let's bring this right down to the ground level. If you're a manager, I've got 3 questions for you. 3 things you can go ask your team right now to get a real pulse on what's going on.
First question. Hey team, our stock is constantly getting misplaced. What are the immediate actions we need to take?
And the answer should sound a lot like those quick wins we just talked about. We need to introduce standard rules. We need to label every single storage location. We have to ban mixed SKUs in the same bin. We need to verify locations with barcode scans, and we've got to hold people accountable. See? It's not rocket science, but it absolutely requires discipline.
Question number 2. How can we fix our labeling so the team stops picking from the wrong spots?
Well, the answer here is all about making things crystal clear. We need standardized location codes, like A01-B-12. Use big, visible labels that people can actually read from a distance. Maybe color code your zones to make navigation a breeze. You can even add check digits for scan confirmation. The bottom line is this: what the physical label says has to match what the system says. Period.
And the final big picture question. Okay, team, looking down the road, what are the long-term improvements we need to make our Putaway truly world-class?
This is where it all comes together. The answer is a mix of tech and process. You implement WMS-directed Putaway. You make it mandatory to scan both the product and the location. You audit accuracy every single week. You train everybody on the same SOPs, and you never, ever stop analyzing your mistakes to get better.
At the end of the day, it really is this simple. If your putaway is weak, the entire chain suffers. Picking, packing, shipping, all of it. Your accuracy, your efficiency, and yeah, your customer satisfaction. It all hinges on getting that one first step right.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. A question to take back to your team. Your system says you have 50 units of something. Can your team find every single one of them in under a minute? Go on, ask them. The answer you get will tell you everything you need to know about the real health of your warehouse.